So, dreams can be wonderful things, they can be scary things, they can be long, they can be short. You can wake up in the morning and think I had the best dream of my life, or you can think I had a nightmare, or maybe like me, you think I had a dream. What was that dream about? And sometimes it comes to you and sometimes it doesn't. Well, a man who knows all about dreams is Ian Wallace. He's the author of the Top 100 Dreams, the dreams that we all have and what they really mean. So he's our guest next. After this, we're going to get some traffic and travel for you and some weather. Then we've got some brilliant music to take us through the morning. And in the big hour, we're going to be talking to Peter Henley directly after Prime Minister's Question Times. And also Matthew Priest from the band Dodgy is going to be with us as well, with the People's Songbook of the South, and Murray Walker. Yes, Mr. F1, Mr. Formula One. Murray Walker will be in the big hour as well. And loads of great guests coming as well. But now let's turn our attentions to Ian Wallace, author of The Top 100 Dreams, the dreams that we all have and what they really mean. Morning, Ian.
Morning, Alex. How are you?
I'm all right. I just did a wonderful job filling for time there because we couldn't get the connection on the line, and I don't think anyone noticed. Anyway, nice to talk to you. I know you're busy doing interviews today. Where are you actually sat at the moment? In a BBC studio in London?
Yes, I'm sat in the basement of Western House, Alex.
Oh, I know it well. Well, it's nice to have you on the show, and we're trying to ask you questions that other stations aren't asking you, because otherwise you can start flagging after half hour, can't you? But open up by telling us all about your book and why you decided to write it.
The book is called The Top 100 Dreams, the dreams that we all have and what they really mean. And the reason I wrote it is a really simple fact, Alex. And we tend to think that dreams happen to us, but the reverse is true. We actually happen to dream. So we create everything in a dream, every individual atom, every photon that we experience in a dream. And the reason for that is because we're all human beings, we tend to have the same behavioural patterns. So when we dream at night, we tend to create the same sorts of stories. So I wanted to write a book that just explained that we tend to dream about the same sort of things, and then how to use those dreams in waking life to make them useful and valuable for us.
Should we ever feel guilty about some of the stuff that we dream? Because we're not in control of it, are we?
Well, we are in control of it. We have this feeling that we're not actually controlling it. It seems to be happening to us, but we're actually generating it frame by frame as we go. And usually the more salacious and naughty and scary and violent it is, then we're just really having a great time and trying to get ourselves to actually pay attention to these messages that we create for ourselves every night.
How do you know all this, Ian? How can you study it and know it? And I'm not saying you're wrong, but why should we believe you and what you say about dreams, or anybody else and what they believe about? Where's the proof in the pudding?
Well, that's a really brilliant question, Alex. So, in my credentials, I'm a qualified psychologist. I've been doing this for 30 years now, so I've been working with dreams daily, every day for 30 years. I've analysed 140,000 dreams in my professional career. But one of the most interesting things is, and I mentioned this in the book, is about the language that we use in dreams and to describe dreams. And this comes out in our everyday language all the time. So if someone says to you or says to me, I feel like I'm being engulfed by my emotions, then the chances are they will be dreaming about tidal waves or tsunamis. So we tend to use this sort of language all the time. If someone says, my confidence is crumbling, or I'm losing my nerve, then they're probably dreaming that their teeth are crumbling or falling out during the night. So all these things in our language and all the idioms we use, when you actually say to someone, like someone in the middle of Siberia will say, they'll use the same sort of phrase we have in English, is the coast clear? And the coast is 2,000 miles away. So we have all these idioms that we use, and it's the same thing that come up in our dreams again and again.
Right, what about the really good dreams? Now, I've had the occasional dream where I've been in conversation with John Lennon. Right? And it's been so detailed. When I wake up in the morning, I kind of want to believe that it really happened, that I left my body in the middle of the night, went and found John Lennon, and there we were, sat in Manhattan, having a coffee. And I might want to get that dream back. I'm getting an exclusive interview with John Lennon. And it is so detailed. I can see his cigarettes on the table. I can recognise the brand. He had a different coffee to me. This car drove by. How can they be so detailed?
Again, Alex, because you have the creativity and the instinct to actually assemble all this, and it's just amazing that we do this, and people tend to overlook just the incredible detail and clarity that a dream can have. When we dream about speaking to someone else in a dream, we're actually speaking to some aspect of our own character. And conversing with a celebrity is one of the most common dreams that people have. So when you're conversing with John Lennon, you're actually communicating with the qualities that you have inside Alex. So there's something where you've been really creative, you've been really incisive, you've been quite disruptive and quite liberating. So you have those creative qualities, and you have them in great detail and depth, and that's what's being reflected in your dream when you're sitting in Manhattan conversing with John.
So, Ian, does that mean people with a more vivid imagination get Technicolor dreams?
Well, the more you use your imagination and the more you tune into your instincts and impulses, then the more clarity you tend to have in your dreams. But people, very often I'll be chatting with someone and I'll say, this is all about your creativity and how you need to express it, and they'll say, oh, I'm not creative at all, I never create anything. But there's that wonderful need to actually create something and make something meaningful in their waking life.
Just getting back to what we were saying earlier, because I just don't want to leave this alone. If you are having very violent dreams, should you go and see your doctor and say, look, you know, I'm not a violent person, but now I have dreams that I'm going around chopping everybody's heads off. If it's troubling you, should you go and see the doctor, or are the two disconnected?
The two are kind of disconnected, Alex. So what the doctor will do, he might give you some medication, or he might refer you to a psychologist or a psychotherapist. What happens with violent dreams, again, we have to remember that the dreamer is actually creating the dream. And when we don't pay attention to our dreams in waking life, what our unconscious does is just starts to turn up the volume and the colour and makes the dream scarier and scarier till we actually do something about it. So if we're dreaming that we're going around chopping people's heads off, there's something in waking life where we're literally losing our head over something,
right,
and we need to act a wee bit more rationally in waking life and just stand back and get a wider view of the situation.
As I lay on this couch and I talk to you, Ian, but I haven't been having any violent dreams. I don't want you to worry about me. Now, what's the difference between a night terror and a nightmare?
Right, so a nightmare is just a dream that's got some scary content in it and a feeling of being out of control. What a night terror is that when we go to sleep, and when we dream especially, we secrete a chemical from the base of our brain into our spine that effectively paralyses us. And sometimes when we're waking up, our mind wakes up before our body. So our body can feel quite paralysed, but our mind's fully awake. And then we can start to project. So we feel that there's something in the room. There might be a shadow or a presence or an intruder or some sort of attacker just hovering there. But it's just because we're still generating some imagery in our mind and our body feels a bit paralysed and over-relaxed.
All right, look, we've got 60 seconds left before we lose you. So let's just quickly ask you, is it true you never see yourself in a dream?
No, you do see yourself in a dream. You see yourself in mirrors. You see yourself from a distance in the third person. You might see yourself up on a movie screen or on the television.
All right, and finally, are dreams good for you?
Dreams are very good. They're fundamental to psychological health.
Brilliant. You've been a real pleasure to talk to, Ian. I wish I could talk all morning to you, but we've only got 10 minutes allotted. Your book is The Top 100 Dreams, the dreams that we all have and what they really mean. Where can we get your book?
You can get it from all good bookshops and probably some bad bookshops as well, and you can get it online at all the various online stores. It's published by Hay House. OK,
well, look, good luck, and thank you very much for joining us on the show, Ian.
Thank you, Alex.
Cheers. That's Ian Wallace. What a nice guy, and a very interesting guy too. So the Top 100 Dreams is his book.